Good morning. We are midway through December, so I am going to do a greenhouse tour. One of the bigger changes is actually this plank of wood with the pool noodles that are covering rebar. And then I can show you what else is new. I have little seedlings started. I have this light on a timer and this little heat mat to help the seeds know that it's time to germinate. So these are mostly bok choys, kohlrabis. I've got some more cabbages and lettuces started. I've got some basil and moringa that I'll keep inside. The bok choys and kohlrabis are largely because I've reached the point of the greenhouse where soon I'll be harvesting the things that are out there. So when I was starting seeds, I thought about how many of those things we would need for like one meal. So I started 12 cells of bok choys and 12 cells of kohlrabis. And I did that for, I think, 3 different varieties. So the goal with those seedlings is that when I harvest from what's in the greenhouse, I'll have a second sowing. The thought with the plank of wood and the pool noodle and the rebar is that the rebar being deep enough in the ground to prevent it from shifting too much with frost heave. I did leave it a little bit out from the greenhouse so that any swelling in the wood or any potential frost heave didn't like shove it into the greenhouse. That would not be ideal. This goes back to when I reviewed the Climapod. Last winter I had a problem with the base of the doors just like flapping in the breeze because at the bottom there's just a plastic piece holding it in the runner, and it's not great for cold seasons. So the very attractive plank of wood at the base of the greenhouse is really just shoring up my defenses for any winter strain on the doors. It should prevent them from flapping in the breeze. And that was really the main change for the greenhouse itself from November's greenhouse tour to December's greenhouse tour. The other big change is I had sowed some seeds the very same day I did the November greenhouse tour, and this time I have little baby seedlings. The germination rates for those different seed spots you'll be able to see are not exactly like 100% for each of them. Mostly I think that's due to how the beds have been covered over the night, the nights where it got really cold, and inconsistent moisture in those soil areas because the soil is exposed. My temperatures in the greenhouse have been fluctuating because the temperature outside has been fluctuating. So some spots got drier. That will actively impact your germination rates. Seeds need consistent moisture in order to germinate. So here's my oregano that's been performing well as a perennial in here so far. These are the China Jades radishes that I sowed last November, so it's been about a month. And then I've got my lettuces, radishes, mustards, my old Tokyo greens. This rosemary is still doing very well. I've got more radishes, chard, cilantro, my winter savory, which has been very good, different types of radishes over here, lettuces, and my tokanashi turnips over here, who keep losing their labels. My little mini rose is doing well too. On the north bed, I still have some chijimasai greens. These I'm actually planning on harvesting for dinner this week, and I also want to take some of the outer leaves from this Chinese cabbage. And you can see that my burgundy broccoli here starting to form an itty bitty head. But all of these leaves have remained really hardy and healthy. The kohlrabis down here still haven't made a bulb, but they're on their way. And I've been harvesting about a handful of sprouting broccolis once a week. I've got rutabagas here that have sprouted, but they haven't gotten much further than that. Those are still their baby leaves. And then these look almost the same as last time. I harvested all of these chives for Thanksgiving. And then the same thing with these rosettes, choys, and bok choys. I will be harvesting those for dinner this week as well. The main thing with the winter gardening season is it's not as fast. So in the spring and early summer, you'll notice that your plants just sort of take off. It's got this nice amount of increase in sunlight. Your plants get this nice increase in warmth, which is really good for your seedlings, which is why for germination you have like a heating mat usually to help you with seed starting inside. So the thing to understand with winter growing is it's not that. Winter growing is slower. You have less light. Some of you in different places have maybe no light for some amount of time. I didn't take as much time for the December greenhouse tour naming the varieties, mostly because it's the same as November. What has changed has been I've harvested from some spots. The seeds that I started direct in the soil have popped up, but you can see they still have just their baby leaves. They don't have their true leaves yet. That is the shift into winter gardening. I decided that I wanted to try growing seeds on the shelf in the basement. So I've got new baby seedlings. All of those are varieties that already exist in here, but I wanted to try jump starting them in the basement and then hardening them off or getting them used to the cooler temperatures of the greenhouse. So it'll take about a week for me to do the in and out dance with the plants, where I take them from inside, they come outside for about an hour, and then I bring them back in. And then you slowly increase that time day by day. So the second day I bring them out, they'll be in the greenhouse for 2 hours. And the third day they'll be in the greenhouse for 3 hours. And you just slowly increase that. Because I'm starting them inside, if I just brought them directly to the greenhouse, they would be shocked. The plants might not survive. Some might not. And you can garden that way, very Hunger Games style, where it's like, well, if you live, you live. If you die, you die. That's an option. But if I've spent all the time nurturing them in the basement on my seed starting shelf, I don't particularly want them all to die. I want them all to live. And so I'm going to give them the best shot I can. I'll keep you updated on the hardening off process, but as it is, what I've been able to get from the greenhouse thus far has been a big bowl of salad greens, including the nice like sharp taste of the mustard leaves. And it's just a mix of the leaves I have available. It's not a specific like salad blend seed starting. But once a week I collect this giant salad bowl. I store it in my salad spinner in the fridge and it keeps all week long. I'm able to use the herbs that are out here, so the rosemary, the winter savory, the oregano, the chives. And I've just gotten to the point where some of the radishes I sowed October, September, sometime around there, those are bulbing up. And so I will pull the ones that are ready as I want to eat them. Them staying out here clearly isn't bothering them. I tend to prefer radishes roasted. Some people like the sharper flavor of them raw. And in the winter, in the colder season, radishes, instead of being that like bite to them, tend to be a little bit sweeter. And so I'll try some of them raw, but I'll more than likely just roast them because I like them that way. So if winter gardening is something that's new to you, I hope you're not too disappointed by the slow growing of the season. But this is what it is for those of us in cold climates. It's a lot of waiting. But each week I get organic fresh greens, organic fresh radishes, at least 3 herbs. And I get a nice place to be when it's like 40 degrees outside but sunny, and then in the greenhouse it's 70. So I'm not disappointed with winter gardening. And there's something really nice about the slower pace of the winter season after the absolute crazy town of fall harvesting of the summer season. So this has been the December greenhouse tour. I'll continue to start things inside, transplant them, and in a couple weeks I'll be planning for next season's garden. So hopefully you'll come back and check it out then. Thanks for coming along with me on the December greenhouse tour. I'll catch you next time. Somebody honked their horn outside and the dogs are losing their minds. I should go check on them.
Are you protecting the house? Are we safe? Are we safe from intruders? Did you hear a car like 6 blocks down? You don't say. I know. Sing me your song. Sing me your song.